I walk with God in perfect holiness. This is always such a beautiful and amazing insight and just wonderful information that is just absolutely beautiful. And especially if you're new to this, that it just can be mind-blowing. Like, wait a second, it's so true. If God is what God is, if it is indeed all that is, and it is life, and it is, say, even omnipresent, or in the sense of what anything described, say, God as God and not a specific identity, then yes, it is your life. You can't be apart from God. It is the life within you. It is the life source. It is in so many different ways, so many ways of describing it. Yes, it's energy. Yes, it's consciousness. Yes, it's everything. Yes, it's here. Yes, it's now. Yes, yes, yes. Because it is that alternate dimensional reality. Just like that dreamer idea. Remember that the dreamer of the dream is everything within the dream. You dream of something, you are this something. This something is you. The ideas don't leave its source. So often there's a little bit of a disturbance or a confusion that occurs with this, because we like to think that, you know, there's a major difference between what is God and what is the Son of God, and say what is the world. And God did not create the world, right? We did that lesson. And yet of course, yes, the reality of what it is, God did create. The reality of what it is, of what the world is and what you are. But the illusions, the distortions, the confusion, the loss, the pain, the suffering, the separation, God didn't create that kind of a world, not that world. No, that's your doing. And that's what sets you apart from God. So the interesting thing, and to specify that what you are as the Son of God, if it had a function, we could define it as to explore. Because the God of all that is total essence of all that is, and has no ability to experience. It is all existence, so it has no separation from experience. You're going to experience how cushy a chair is if you are separate from that chair, right? You have to be separate from it, and you have to be experienced in cushiness of chairs or hard chairs to make a distinction between the difference, right? But if you have no distinction between differences whatsoever, then you can't experience it. You are all things, right? So you, as the Son of God, is actually the position of being different variations at different times of separation experience. So you can explore. You can experience. I know it seems a little confusing, but this is absolutely consistent. Even as this was saying, the consistency of truth. And A Course in Miracles is always usually talking about the reality of Christ and the Father, Christ and the Father, Christ and the Father, and the Holy Spiritual Universe, Christ and the Father, and the Holy Spiritual Universe. So it's the Trinity, right? So that, of course, is what it calls consistent. Now, I can go through all 10 dimensions of reality, and even though they have different descriptions, different understandings, different variations, it is absolutely consistent still throughout all variations. So this is something about God being an alternate dimension. The 0th dimension and the 10th dimension is absolutely always remaining the same. It is the beginning and the end, still existence all throughout any variation of dimension. But you, as the Son of God, is exploring. That's your function, that's your purpose, to know God. You can't know God, just like you can't know how squishy the chair is, squishy now, how comfy it is and how soft and wonderful it is, until you explore. That means you have to experience hard chairs and bed of nails maybe, and all these different things to know what is, say, this cushy chair. You can explore and experience to know differences. So the purpose of A Course in Miracles and what forgiveness is about is the surrendering of the ability to discern differences. That's what forgiveness is. You're surrendering the ability to discern differences so you can come to know what truth is again. Father, Son, and the Holy Spiritual Universe. You can't come to know that if you still have definitions, resentments, and grievances. Seeing a separated world. You have to have a separated world to experience it separately, but to know God, you can't. So this is still absolutely consistent. But what you are doing and why you seem to be here is your choosing, your decision to fulfill this function. But it can't be made by you alone. What gave you this ability to choose this? This is your source. Your source, what God is, gave you everything that you can possibly do. So if anything's guilty of choosing illusions, and if you want to insist that it's a bad thing, then you're insisting that God is doing a bad thing, giving you the option to choose that. So I know it seems a little confusing, of course, but in the sense of recognizing that you and the Father are not really different. The Son of God isn't a son as in birthed by the Father. That's why I like to refer to it as the self of God. It is literally the God's self, the total essence to know itself. It can't know itself if it isn't seemingly, in different variations, in each dimension, different combination or percentage of separated from itself. So it seems a little, in the sense, convoluted, but in this recognizing that when, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, that you are still in the presence of God. Always and forever. That communication is not a direct line. It's not, there's no line. It's literally constant. It's literally always. You are, what you are is one with God. What you are is one with God. So it's not communication like with something else. It's once you step back, then the light can, however you say, what did it say? Man, I was on a roll. The truth can come forward. That's it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The words. As soon as you step back, the truth can come forward. Unlike me, the truth has to lose itself while Devin comes forward and struggles with words. So it's a pretty remarkable experience that you are learning that life is A Course in Miracles, not just a book. Life is A Course in Miracles. You are learning how to free yourself from limitations, learning how to free yourself from limitations, and the biggest limitation is just this thing you call you. That's you. You are the limitation. You're the one in the way. You can't know God. You can't let the world know God. You can't even experience God while you are here. You are literally the presence of the knowledge of good and evil. I, Devin. Devin is the presence of knowledge, good and evil. All physicality comes from this understanding, this concept. So this is the recognition that I'm here and not elsewhere. I'm here and not the truth pouring through. So, of course, you're going to be battling with it, struggling with it, trying to figure it out, trying to understand it. And regardless of how much you understand it or not, what you want to be practicing is a sense of meditation to learn how to step out of the way. You want to learn how to step out of the way. That's the goal here. Step out of the way. You want to learn how to step out of the way. Can you step out of the way? I think you can. I think you can definitely step out of the way. I mean, that's what you're here to do. It is your function here. It is salvation. It is salvation from all everything. Everything you have problem with. You have problem with something? Name something. Okay, yes, it's salvation from that. Yep. So it's a pretty remarkable experience when you really come to grasp, and definitely when you actually come to experience it. That is just absolutely mind-blowing. Even just maybe a hint. You see in several different experiences, even if it's drug use or not, it doesn't have to be, but that you're just recognized beyond yourself. That's all it has to do. Meditation, kirtan, might be oming. Just recognize beyond yourself. There's something there beyond yourself. Step out of the way and you'll find out who you are. It doesn't matter what you believe it is. If you believe it's channeling, if you believe it's your soul, if you believe it's this or that, it doesn't make no difference. It's doing the same thing. Step out of the way and let the truth prevail. Right? Step out of the way and God is there.